Okay, and present. Full screen. Allez, c'est parti. So, we are at week 3 of our group coaching, and this week the focus was on the boosting of our gut health and our metabolism. So I think that what's important in this title is to understand that losing body fat doesn't mean that you have to cut carbs. So there's a link between the new type of disease that we are seeing around women in their 30s and 40s and 50s, early menopause, is that most of these women were doing diets that were on a low carb regimen. So they tried mainly high protein, high fat, like keto diets, and this led them to lose weight, yes, on the scale, but to also lose muscles and also to develop some kind of new type of imbalances, okay? And this is due to the fact that the gut needs carbohydrates to function properly. That's why this week I wanted to do this seminar for you to understand the relationship between your carbohydrates intake and your gut health, and to remove this limiting belief that carbs are your enemies, okay? So what I'm going to share with you is some science-based approach with some personal experience, and I'm going to give you as many tools and tips as possible so you can implement it in your daily life and improve your gut and microbiome health in general. So, let's understand why it matters. When we talk about hormones, most people think of estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, insulin, but there's something that you have to understand is that gut plays a major role in keeping these hormones in check. So your gut microbiome are made up of trillions of bacteria, and it's like the control center for your body's hormone balance, okay? What's important to understand is that your gut bacteria, the estrogen, okay, helps in the process of producing estrogen, okay? And some imbalances with this type of bacteria can cause PMS. So when you have very painful menstrual cycle, it's because you might have an imbalance with this gut bacteria, okay? So this also can lead to weight gain or irregular cycles, okay? So it's very important that you understand that what you eat can impact the production of this bacteria, which impact which regulates the level of estrogen in your body, okay? So if let's say you are in a deficiency, it can contribute to all the symptoms from the PCOS, from the painful menstruation like I mentioned, or even some symptoms that are very heavy when you're going into your menopause stage. Now, your gut health also affects your cortisol, okay, the stress hormone. We always speak about this hormone, and most of the time the pouch that you have around your midsection is related to estrogen and cortisol. So chronic stress and poor gut health can create this vicious cycle. So when you have high cortisol levels, it will damage your gut lining and it will lead to inflammation. It will also impact your sleep and it will make you store belly fat. And on the other side, if you have like a healthy gut, you can reduce your stress response and you can also help your adrenal function. So what I'm trying to say here is never underestimate the impact of your environment, of your subconscious mind, of not putting boundaries, of being a Wonder Woman, of having all this mental charge. Yes, we are looking at what we put in our plate, but ladies, let's be honest, we all have this level of stress that is higher than in men, okay? So you might have gut imbalances because of your choices, but also your mental load and your environment, your work, and it's something you will need to sort out. Then it's important also to have a balanced microbiome because it helps regulate your blood sugar and insulin, okay? So when you have the right amount of bacteria in your gut, you will be able to stabilize your blood sugar. So when you have spikes in the blood sugar, you can have crashes later on, and it will lead to insulin resistance if it happens constantly. So what can cause blood sugar? It's when you, for instance, have highly processed carbs or sugar. Sugar is carbs, but I mean when you don't maybe pair your meal together, protein, carbs, fat, because usually it neutralizes the insulin spike. So a lot of ladies, when they're stressed, it's a vicious circle because they're gonna eat sweets and they are not pairing them with the protein and the fat, and then this can in the long run, you know, I'm not feeling good, I binge eat, or I'm emotionally eating and I'm not choosing a fruit, I'm choosing highly processed food, and it will impact in the long run your sex hormones and also your estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. And this is why conditions like PCOS, cravings and weight gain are often linked to poor gut health. Now, if you have poor gut health, the nutrient absorption for hormone will be low, okay? Because if you have a good gut health, you will be able to absorb the nutrients of the food faster. So the more you absorb the nutrients, the faster you can produce the hormone. And these micronutrients are zinc, magnesium, vitamin B's. That's why sometimes we have to supplement because our gut health is poor and we cannot get these essentials to produce the hormones. And that's why there is a decrease in estrogen or progesterone. Now, when you take care of your gut, you will also reduce your inflammation. So if you try to limit processed food, stress, you will be able to preserve the good gut bacteria, and you will be able to eliminate the toxins that enter in your bloodstream, okay? And you will have a better immune response, okay? And I think that when you don't take care of your gut, what happens is that you get sick faster. You are always bloated, inflamed. Whatever you eat or whatever activity you do, you always feel tired. It's all linked to your second brain, which is your gut. Okay, so it's very important to develop the knowledge on what to do to preserve the good bacteria and the lining of your stomach. Okay, so I think that more than just helping in the hormone production and stabilization, there is a connection between how also you feel, okay, and how like mental health issues. So I think that the gut is also where you process all your emotion, okay? And generally when something bad happens, you're gonna feel it in your gut. And sometimes you will have stomach problem because it's all connected. So 70% of your immune system is in your gut, okay? So, I mean, when you're stressed, you're destroying these good bacteria and you're not eating the right food and your body will get inflamed. So, it's very important to understand that you have to eat a diversified diet. You have to remove any food that is causing you any bloating or feeling uncomfortable. Reduce it as much as possible. It's good to track the food that you eat. When I eat tomatoes, I feel this way. When I had dairy, I felt this way. So I usually encourage people to get more aware on the type of food that they eat and how it makes them feel. Okay. Now, when you are approaching your menopause, or when you have polycystic ovary syndrome, what usually happens is that you have a drop in estrogen, which increase your insulin resistance, and that make fat loss harder. Okay, for PCOS, you have high androgens and you have an elevated level of testosterone, which can disrupt your metabolism and promote as well belly fat storage. So I think that what you have to understand is if you don't have the right food to produce the right bacteria, to produce the right level of hormones that you need to function optimally, you're gonna face some kind of disruption and weight loss will be harder. So insulin resistance means that maybe when you were in your 20s, your estrogen level was okay, and now that you're getting closer to your menopause or you're in menopause, you can't have the same diet, you can't have the same training style as you were when you were younger. I'm not telling you that you cannot push. I'm not telling you that you have to eat less. I'm just telling you that you have to be more conscious on the quality of the food and the timing because you're more sensitive. Okay? So now, I think that because we lack so much information about the woman body and all the science was around men physiology, we developed diets that were punishing women from eating carbs. And I think that what happened is more and more women suffered from a poor fiber diet. So because they were cutting a whole food group, they developed a slower metabolism. They were not able to produce the right level of estrogen. They were not able to feel full longer, so they started snacking, developing body dysmorphia, bulimia, anorexia. I think that it was the beginning of a big eating disorder era, and also it also impacted the perception of women on carbs. Now, I want you to understand, if you eat carbs, it will not make you fat, okay? But the wrong carbs and the wrong timing and poor gut health can lead to weight gain, not the carbs themselves. So what generally happens, women in menopause or with irregular cycle or with PCOS, or ladies that just know that they have a problem with their hormones, they start putting on weight, but they start doing like blaming the carbs when actually it's not the carbs' fault, but they just need to monitor the quantity. They also need to switch from processed carbs to fiber-rich whole carbs, okay? Because you need fiber to produce the estrogen, progesterone, and I think that's the problem. So most of the people are stressed. They work so much that they are looking for convenience food, and usually it's easier to eat bread, pasta, than to prepare a salad, vegetables, cook your protein. It requires more preparation, and that's where it all went wrong. Now, I think it's important that women understand that they have to focus on slow digesting carbs like sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, veggies, legumes, berries, apples. So fruits and vegetables are your best friend. And I think that if you eat enough fruits and vegetables, maybe in your dish, you don't need to add the quinoa or the pasta or the rice. I think you can get your fiber from fruits and vegetables. Now, of course, you might need to eat a little bit more. The volume will be big. That's why we like to add a bit of quinoa and brown rice, and for variety as well. I think that's where we went wrong. We were adding too many carbs, too many fat, too many protein, and we had no clue how to mix them and the quantity required. I think that for women, it's important to aim for 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day to feed your gut and balance your hormones. So a lot of ladies feel bloated or feel like that there's something wrong with their digestion. The first thing I ask them to do is to monitor and track their food using an app like MyFitnessPal. Then from there, after each food, they will write down how they feel. And then there's a lot of ladies, when I check, they were not eating enough fiber, and this led to poor gut health. So I try to teach them how to increase the carbs by making them understand that fiber is very, very important for the production of estrogen and progesterone. But you have to have the right type of carbs. Now, Always pair your carbs with protein and healthy fats. And I think that you should always choose a high fiber carbs, and then you need to eat it around your workouts or early in the morning because you're going to use the energy. And try to have a bit less carbs at night. I'm not telling you to not have carbs, but if you have to eat carbs, it's good to do it early morning, around your workout, post workout, and then maybe eat a bit less at night if you're not working out. I think it's the perfect timing, okay? So balance is key. Now, when you eat the right type of carbs, it helps with your insulin regulation. If you eat refined carbs too much, it's gonna just increase your insulin resistance. So when I talk about carbs, is sugar as well. Too much sugar, too much biscuits, too many bread, white pasta. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think that you have to be very careful because they spike your insulin, and usually you eat it without the protein and the fat, and that's worst, okay? So I think that also it's important that to understand that if you don't eat enough carbs, you're gonna produce higher cortisol, and you're gonna have more cravings, and you're gonna feel more tired. So if you're doing sports like CrossFit, I think that going on a zero carb diet is very stupid because that's your first source when you're gonna work out. So I think that you also need carbs to recover, to replenish your glycogen stores. And I just think that it can lead to injuries if you're not eating enough carbs, and you will not be able to push. You're gonna reach a status quo, and you're not gonna progress. You're not gonna be able to build the muscles, and you're just gonna burn out. Now, I've seen a lot of ladies with thyroid function problems, and they were all on a low carb diet because carbs support the T3 production. And when you go into a no carb or low carb diet, it's going to slow down your metabolism, and it's not going to be able to produce enough thyroid. It's not going to be able to produce enough T3, which will slow down your metabolism. Now, if you have a high fiber carb diet, it's going to help you detox the excess of estrogen. So too low estrogen is not good, too much estrogen is not good. We have to find a balance, okay? So it also plays a role in the detox of excess of estrogen. Now, it's important to feed your gut bacteria, and fiber act as a prebiotic, which support digestion. If you have digestion problem, you want to increase your fiber. It will also prevent bloating and constipation. When you eat processed low fiber carbs, this can lead to gut dysbiosis, which is when you suffer from your digestion. It will also, when you implement fiber-rich carbs, support your gut-liver axis. It will help to eliminate the toxins and all excess of any hormones. So fiber will help you regulate your blood sugar, balance your estrogen, feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and boost your satiety. You will be less likely to have cravings. So we want a diet rich in fiber, okay? Now, this is a list of carbs that you can add to your diet or make sure it's part of your diet. We have oats, quinoa, lentils, sweet potatoes. So lentils, grains, they are part dal, things like this. They're carbs, they're good carbs. Okay, you have low glycemic fruits, berries, apples, you have whole grains, brown rice, buckwheat. Carbs to avoid: refined carbs, white bread, pastries. It spikes insulin, artificial sweeteners. It will disrupt your gut bacteria. Low fiber processed food, increase cravings. The right carbs are better for your hormones, your gut health, and metabolism. It's not about being in restriction. It's about making the right choice to have a healthy microbiome. Okay? Now, I just want you to understand that never eat carbs alone. I want you to always pair it with protein and fat to slow the carb absorption, preventing insulin spikes. Now, when you focus on eating the right amount of carbs and the right type of carbs, you're gonna have less cortisol, you're gonna regulate your estrogen and insulin level and your thyroid function, okay? And I think that it's just important to understand the type of carbs that you like and make sure that you have it always available. Usually I would do this type of combo. I love oats, Greek yogurt with a bit of almond butter. It's very nice. I have it for breakfast or for snack. For lunch, I could have like quinoa, grilled chicken, avocado. You see, I have carbs, I have protein, I have fat, and it gives me energy and it allows me to digest slowly and to feel full longer. When you eat processed carbs, you're gonna be hungry in 10 minutes. When you eat rich fiber carbs, you're gonna feel full longer and you're not gonna have cravings. Okay, I love sweet potatoes, salmon, olive oil. It's rich in omega-3 and it reduces inflammation. Okay, so I think that lentils, it's very good. Sometimes I have eggs with some salad, whole grain toast with scrambled eggs, some cheese. It's also very recommended to keep your gut healthy. Just avoid the refined carbs or eating only carbs alone or too many fats and no fiber and artificial sweeteners, okay? It can disrupt your gut bacteria. Now, if you want to implement some strategy to keep your gut healthy, I know the internet gives you so many recommendations that it's very difficult to understand what to do, what not to do. It's very hard. So I recommend 4 things. Fermented foods. You want to have yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, because they are rich in probiotics. I gave you an anti-inflammatory shot with apple cider vinegar. If you take it every day, it's already a win because it aids in digestion and balance your stomach acid. Then ginger and turmeric, still in the shot that I give you, reduce inflammation and support digestion. Aloe vera juice, it's amazing. If you ever can get some, it would be the best. You can have it in the morning. It will soothe your gut lining and improve your digestion. Now, it's not only about what you put in your stomach, it's about your lifestyle and your actions. Now, you have to eat slow and chew well because it helps break down the food and absorb nutrients better. Manage your stress. High cortisol will kill the good gut bacteria. You need to improve your meditation, your breath work, and you need to walk. You don't need to do high intensity workout every day. You need to go in nature, anchor yourself, be in a relaxation mode, okay? So your gut can regenerate. Move daily, which is already something you're doing. I know, ladies, that you're all very conscious of that. And you need to be able to sleep 7 to 9 hours, which is very challenging when you're very stressed or when you have so many things on your mind, but you need to have at least some time during the day to do power naps and just recover. Now, I also encourage to drink 2 to 3 liters of water per day to help for digestion and nutrient absorption. Herbal teas, I like peppermint, ginger, fennel tea, and dandelion, very good. Bone broth, rich in collagen to heal the gut lining. Collagen is amazing to heal your gut lining. And you want to limit alcohol and sugary drinks, including Diet Cokes or all the flavored water, things like this with aspartame and edulcorant, because they harm your gut bacteria. Fasting can also help to heal your gut. So I think that it's nice to have your dinner and keep 10 to 12 hours between your dinner and your breakfast. Now, you want to have these 2. You want to have prebiotics, which are the food for your good gut bacteria. They come from fiber-rich food that helps nourish and grow the beneficial bacteria that you want. So there is garlic, onion, leeks, asparagus, banana, chicory roots, Jerusalem artichokes, oats, apple, flax seeds, dandelion, greens. Then you have the probiotic. Probiotic, what I like, it's that it's easy to find in yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso soup, kombucha, tempeh. It's usually, people usually have some yogurt, so it's good, but you might want to implement different type of probiotics from the list that I gave you. Pickles as well is nice. Lassi as well is nice, with not too much sugar. So think of probiotics like they are adding like good workers to a factory, okay? They will help you with the digestion, it will reduce your bloating, and it will help you balance your hormones. Prebiotics feed probiotics. So you need both, okay? A diet rich in fiber and fermented foods can naturally support your gut hormone health. That's why you want to have both in your diet. Now, do you need supplement to help your gut to heal? Only if you don't, let's say, you don't eat well, or you just need to do a reboost, you know, like a cycle, 1 month, you just want to make sure that you're giving exactly the right micronutrients to your body. You don't need supplement, but these are recommended, and you can just ask your doctor if it's worth implementing them. You can also do a blood test to see what's missing. So, as I mentioned, there is the probiotics. You can take in pills, prebiotics as well. You can find it in powder, in psyllium husk, for instance. Probiotics are usually take the lactobian. You can also take digestive enzymes, which helps in breaking down the food if you have problem to digest. You can ask in the pharmacy. Collagen, I usually prescribe it to all the women in the program. You can find it in powder. Hydrolyze is the best, or you can find it in pills. You have glutamine as well. You can find it in pills at the pharmacy. It will also help you if you have leaky guts, okay? Now, fiber supplements, if you don't eat enough fiber, you can take psyllium husk again, acacia fiber. Chia seeds also is rich in fiber. That's why I recommend it as part of the program. Magnesium as well, you can take it in powder. Will help you with digestion and bowel regularity. Zinc, usually some women are missing zinc, so you can take it as a supplement. Aloe vera, as I mentioned, it's natural. You can also drink it or take it in capsule. Now, let's recap what we've learned. The gut hormone connection. Your gut regulates estrogen, cortisol, insulin, and more. So if you have poor gut health, you're going to have hormone imbalances, and you're going to have cravings, and you're going to weight gain. Okay, gain weight, sorry. Now, carbs and gut health. You need carbs, you need high fiber carbs to support your digestion and hormone balance. You need to avoid refined carbs and artificial sweeteners at all costs. The best food for your gut and your hormones are prebiotic food, probiotic food, and healthy carbs, sweet potatoes, quinoa, whole grains, okay? And you want to pair your food smartly. So always have your carbs with protein and fat. Try to eat all three together in your snack, in your main meals, for stable blood sugar and digestion. You have also a list of supplements that you can add: probiotics, digestive enzymes, L-glutamine, magnesium, and collagen. I want you to think that your gut is the foundation of your overall health. When you take care of it, your hormones, your metabolism, and energy level will all improve. Now, let's try a protocol to reset your gut. I would like you to try, I don't know, as from next week or after the program, whenever you're ready, to try 1 week by removing all the sugar, all the processed food, and all the alcohol to give your gut a break. Then the second week, I want you to include some fermented food, fiber-rich options, and bone broth to promote healing. I don't know if you're doing it already. If you are, because you're following the program, that's amazing. Keep doing it. Week 3, we want to focus on mindful eating. I want you to focus on slow chewing. Take the time to sit, to eat, to cut your food, and to stay hydrated for optimal digestion. Week 4, we want to reintroduce some food that we removed in week 1, but with mindfulness, okay? You gradually reintroduce food and assess what works best for your body to maintain balance. Removing these food and re-implementing them will make you understand you prefer to stay without this food, and it's like a positive reinforcement that you're like, okay, I think I just want to focus on the food that heal my gut. I don't need the biscuit, I don't need the sugar because it makes me feel crap. So, thank you so much. I hope that you learn a few things. I hope that you understand. My goal is to raise awareness on why you have to eat the way you're doing through the program. And by understanding that your gut is key in producing the right hormones, the right level, removing toxins, and helping you in your mental health as well aspect, because if you feel good, then you're going to want to do better decision with your food, with your life, in your business. They're all connected. So let's stop seeing food as just a tool to get pleasure from it, but let's see it as a tool to be able to be the best version of ourselves, to be able to shine bright, to have the energy to help the people we love, to have the energy to be able to achieve the mission that we have on this earth. And I think it's selfish not to take care of our bodies. I think that we are not thinking of our gift and how we can spread it outside. If you were taking care of your health, you would be able to achieve so more and to give so much and help so many lives, that I think you should take this kind of broad approach to health and understand that it's not only a microbiome, it's not only a gut, it's more than that. It's where everything happens. It's going to decide how you feel, how you act, how you think. So think well. What you put in your plate is who you are, okay? So you're not cheap, you're not low quality. You don't want to put things that people don't even put the intention to do it properly, or things that are toxic to your body. You are what you eat. So think of this. I hope it helps you. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to send me a message or an email.